It's July 2008, Federer-Nadal at the Wimbledon men's singles final. This is Remember That Game, the podcast about sporting events that take you on a journey and maybe chart the path of the zeitgeist. I'm your host, Thomas Emerick, and my guest is Dhaaruni, data analyst, veteran of the campaign and policy space, and DNC delegate for the primary, the DNC chair. She's in the mix there, and we'll go back to 08 here. We got a couple lanes here with tennis and the 08 primary. But first, are you excited to go back, grab breakfast at Wimbledon, and catch a pretty big match?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I watched it I remember this to this day because my dad and I used to watch tennis when we were younger. I remember in Finland. We lived in Finland way back then, like 2000. Um, but I remember Steffi Graf was playing. It was like a big deal for me that when she married Andre Agassi, and I was like, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things I've just kind of kept up in the background in my head. I don't like play tennis very well or really at all, but I've always paid attention to the sport on the surface level. Yeah. And my dad and I used to watch all four of the World Cups, basically, like not World Cups, but the Grand Slam tournaments.
Yeah.
We watched them all the time together. Generally speaking, he would turn it on, be watching, and I'd just be sitting there, milling around the house doing my own thing. But the reason I picked this one was because I distinctly remember because my dad and I were my dad was just sitting around watching the final. My mom and I were doing something. I think we went to a class or something, and I came back home and he was still watching it. And I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then we sat and we watched with him because I don't know, I just remember this to this day because it's um the Wimbledon's in June, right? So
Oh, early July 8th for this
okay, cool.
final. Actually, no, I think it begins in June though. Yeah, so you're right. This
Yeah,
this
okay,
match,
cool.
Wimbledon is in June. This match, July 8th. Yeah.
Cool. That's what I thought. But yeah, this is also the time I want to say this is about when Kate Middleton and Prince William broke up. Like the first,
Mm.
before, hang on.
I didn't even think about that in the rundown. Yeah.
I want
What?
to say it's 2007. I was right. They took a time
Mhm.
out and broke up because basically she wants to get married and he didn't, and he wanted next steps and stuff. I don't know why I know this, but yeah, this it was pretty horrific actually. Something I remembered about the British press is they were nightmarish to her. That's kind of why I was thinking about this in the context of Wimbledon because the US Open obviously gets a lot of attention because of the American media and stuff, and Taylor Swift goes there in her little gingham dress, which I own that dress by the way, or something very similar to it. But
Respect.
Wimbledon's interesting because you have all the British celebs there. The royals go a lot of the time, famous actresses and actors, the theater people, the Shakespearean
Yeah.
types. That's why Wimbledon gets a lot of attention because the British tabloids are crazy. Um, but yeah, no, it's there's a very interesting class dynamic of tennis too, because there's um Wimbledon has always been considered the hoity-toity part of the Grand Slam tournaments, just because it's a grass court. And the people that win Wimbledon, like Maria Sharapova won Wimbledon in 2004. And she did not win any other Grand Slams as far as I know. She might have won Australia, I forgot, but I think she won Wimbledon. Um, yep, Wimbledon 2004.
On the board.
Sorry. I like how I don't know, I know this is really nerdy, but I love it when I know this stuff.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like my brain is still working because sometimes I just worry
Djokovic actually had beaten Federer earlier that year in 2008. So he was coming up, but Federer had won 5 straight Wimbledons.
better,
Nadal
yeah.
was on the come up. Did
Nadal was
you
the
have
younger
a
guy, yeah.
uh,
I
rooting
I
interest?
was always Federer girl, guy gender neutral. No, I always wanted Federer to win. I was I don't know why, not because of an underdog overdog thing, just because I was always, I don't know, I just liked him. I thought he was a cool guy. He seems I don't know, his vibes were good. His vibes were not rancid. I remember this when I was a kid. You can always tell who has rancid vibes. Um,
I hadn't heard that
for
one, but
instance,
dig it.
but yeah, it was just an interesting time. There was a lot of turbulence. The economy was about to crash.
Right.
Um, yeah,
We got
it
another
was
analog.
something interesting is that My parents luckily both kept their jobs, but right then we moved to San Diego. We moved from San Diego to Seattle about then because we were still on a visa. So we needed to move where the jobs were. My dad has worked at Microsoft. He's joined Microsoft then. I was actually on his visa the whole time. I was not on my mom's. So which it was a little bit difficult because we have different last names. But anyway, and then it was really interesting though because like the political climate was very
Yeah, the Twitter was '06, so was around by this, and of
jacked.
course online small donors a big thing
Well,
at this
that's the
point.
thing though, because like I keep on telling
Oh
people
wait,
like Obama '08 could run a different campaign than Clinton, Biden, and Kamala because like Facebook was a thing, Twitter was a thing, but it wasn't like everybody was on it. And like more importantly, journalists weren't spending every waking hour on it and reporting on it. So Obama could run different campaigns in like every state. Like, but Obama was a very unique political talent. He could make liberals think that he was like wink wink nudging them about like, I'm secretly liberal. But then he could make all like the rednecks in Montana being like, oh yeah, this guy's one of us. Like he feels like he went to Butte, Montana in 2008 for 4th of July. Um, he actually just like showed up. He like I don't know. Sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, I don't know what's the real Obama, which like is probably a good thing for a politician. Like I don't know which identity of him is real. Like I think he's probably more liberal than he ran in '08, though. I'll give him that. He ran against gay marriage. He said he was pro civil unions. Hillary had the more progressive healthcare plan. Like other than the Iraq War, she was more progressive on everything, which is like interesting to me because like it's kind of like um people forget that like because of like the Clinton kill list and stuff, which like let's just say Anthony Weiner's still alive, so clearly it's not real.
yeah, I mean he's still kicking around. I think there's that. Yeah, there's a feature
A
just the other
profile
day.
about him, yeah.
How much up were you up on Nadal and his whole path at this point? And how much were you
I
into like the
knew he
star
was
power of
like
these two?
I knew he was like the go-getter type. I knew he was very like up and coming, and I knew he was like really going to be a talent, like a generational talent. He won the French Open at 17, I want to say. So I knew he was like there to stay because like another thing about like elite athletics is it ages you, like it ages your body. Um, like your body's not going to be the same if you're like a regular like you're playing tennis and you're working out 5, 6 hours a day. Your body's not going to be the same as if you're just like doing what I do and doing like yoga and soul cycle. Like obviously fitness is good, but like if you push your body that far, you're going to age beyond your like numerical age. Is just why they end up retiring in their 30s. Um, like Travis Kelsey is very old for like a professional football player now. He's 35. Um, yeah, his birthday's in October. Why do I know this again? I think he's a Libra, so his birthday's a couple days before mine.
Well, yeah, I mean it's crazy. Some of those guys are still winning Grand Slam tournaments into the late 2010s. I think Nadal won the
Yeah,
French again in
2019, I think.
22. Um,
I
uh,
think they still play recreationally, but like Federer has like 3 kids with his wife. I don't know if Nadal has kids, I forgot. But yeah, and Djokovic has children. Um, and he's not allowed in certain countries. But which like doesn't seem like the best thing ever for like a professional athlete, but that's his choice, I guess. Well, it has to be his choice. Um,
yeah,
yeah.
he crashed out earlier in the Wimbledon tournament. Neither Nadal nor Federer faced him on the way to the finals. Um,
Yeah, which is good for them because like it lets them like do that. And there was like this, I remember this, it was crazy. It was like a really hot day when we watched this in the downstairs of our house in Seattle, like in Redmond. Um, Very interesting, very hot day. Seattle's pretty far north, so it stays bright really late in the summer. Like even now it's May, it gets dark at like 8:30, 9 almost. Um, yeah. I remember this because like we didn't expect it to go on that long. That's what I remember most of all. Like we were just sitting there watching, being like, how long is it gonna take? And I really thought Federer would win. So when Nadal won, it's like it felt like something clicked. It's like, oh, this is like a generation thing. And then it's like, did you read the book about Roger Federer actually? Speaking of this, it's like the last days of Roger Federer. It's like about death basically, about the
oh,
last of his career. It's called The Last Days of Roger. I read it recently.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it talks about like kind of like not the fall of an icon, but kind of like the disillusion of an icon. Like he used to be this person, now he's like not as good as he used to be just because he's older now. It's like kind of interesting to talk about like the concept of aging and like going through life and like thinking that you wake up one day and you're not the person you were when you were 20. It's like there are good and bad things about it, you know? Like, but yeah, it's a good book. I recommend it. I should probably make a list of like books I recommend randomly.
Yeah, we put in the notes. So what was it like during that rain break? I mean, Nadal goes up 2-0 before Roger Federer makes his big comeback. How much did it like
No,
add to the intensity? What was it like with you and your parents waiting through those? There
I
ended
was
up being
so
two innings.
confused at what's going on. I just was like, this has never happened before because the French Open's a clay court. Like I said, this is a grass court, so there's like different traction. Um, a lot of times, like the athletes that do really well on the clay courts are the ones that are like more intense and more like aggressive in their play, basically. So like the grass court people or the grass court players that really thrive on the grass court tend to be more like circumspect in their play, which is why I thought Federer would pull it off because Nadal has always been like, I always thought of him as like the clay court guy, if that makes sense, you know? So that's why I expected Federer to win despite the comeback. And then I was like, when Nadal won, it's like he slammed himself on the ground. I was like, oh, I still remember that because I was like, interesting. Like I was 13 and I was just like, I remember this. Like,
Federer comes back, goes to the tie break. Were you? I know you came in as a Federer fan, but did you start to feel for Nadal a little bit as
I mean, I
Nadal
wasn't really like,
really do it?
I don't know, like I've been a sports I'm like not a huge fan TM of sports, like, but how do I say this? Like I found it interesting, like on a dynamic level. And the emotionality of it all because I could feel like I remember I was sitting on the floor. My parents were sitting on the couch. I still remember this because like I don't know why I was sitting on the floor. It was like the summer. It's a thing. Um, and I was like, wait, this is still going on. Why is this still going on? Because like um I don't know, like I remember it felt very emotional. I remember this because like everyone was just like on the edge of their seats. They're like, why is this going on so long? Because like um matches don't usually go on that long. And I'm I don't know, like very it's just kind of weird to me. Like I don't think there's been a match that has gone on that long since then, right?
Definitely one of the longest ever, including the rain delays. I think it was 7 hours. I think the playing time was nearly
Yeah,
five
yeah, yeah.
hours.
It's crazy. Like that's what I mean. Like your body gets worn out if you're doing that for your whole life. Like that's why you retire. That's why you age. And like that's why athletes like often end up having really bad physical ramifications of their careers. Cause like,
Do you think the ramifications of age are finally going to rear their head in the Democratic primary field as that shakes out, and how fast do these things change? Seeing the cycle in '08, and now we're coming up over a few years here. We got 2028.
I think that on the congressional level, old people are going to retire. Um, I don't know if primaries are going to be successful, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of older reps and like obviously older senators who are just going to retire to avoid being primaried. But like '08 was a contentious primary, but I think that for one thing, the whole crash of Lehman Brothers really helped whoever win. Um, Also the thing is, like Hillary got on board with Obama very quickly. Like I don't really want to get in 2016, but like I voted for Bernie in 2016 and 2020, and like I still didn't like the way he acted in 2016. He like was staying in after he was mathematically eliminated, and it's like great, cool. And it's just like there's a conspiracy theory. There's gonna be a conspiracy theory for the next I don't know how long, but I'm just I don't know. I try not to engage in it. Like people are making like these like winning like they literally were making computer games of like how much Bernie would have won Idaho by. It's ridiculous, but I don't know. People have time on their hands. I don't know. Like 2008 was very interesting for that reason because it was like the brink of the social media phase. Like I said, Obama could run different campaigns in like Ohio and New York and Florida and Arizona. Like obviously he wasn't gonna win Arizona when John McCain was there, but like he could run different campaigns and like they didn't really pay attention because they weren't getting the news one by one by one. The journalists weren't reporting on every development. So like when Obama said one thing in Iowa and another thing in Florida, they didn't report on the discrepancy. Like he was probably saying something about like free trade is bad, and he was running as like a protectionist in like Michigan, and then like Florida, he's like, yeah, let's not talk about that because this is a right to work state. Let's talk about something else. Like, let's talk about Cuba. And
His
like,
campaign seemed to know ball, even down to the, and you're a delegate, even down to the delegates. It seemed like
oh
they
yeah,
were
they knew
running
ball.
circles around Hillary's team. Did it seem like with Hillary having some retreads from Clinton's administration that it helps to have new, fresh eyes? And do you think there's any lessons for after
I don't think
2024?
it's the Clinton admin veterans that were the problem, really. I think the problem was the new people.
Yeah,
Like, if you look at like Hillary's emails, like I actually have looked at some of the emails, they're pretty normal. Like she's very balanced. She's very like straight up about it. There was like the gender stuff. She's like, why are we not saying mother and father? Why don't we just say keep mother and father as the baseline, and then for like unique families, we can just like use the gender like not gendered language accordingly. And it's like, well, that's like a very logical thing to say. But in 2016, she did not run like that on social issues. Like she ran as very pro-immigration. Because during that debate with Bernie Sanders, she basically said that like if you didn't commit a crime, you shouldn't be deported. Um, and that kind of like blasted throughout the entire Midwest. Like people talk about protectionism and like free trade and stuff. Like I have my people are like, oh, the jobs. And I'm like, you're not going to go back to pre NAFTA. It's been 30 years. You can't undo NAFTA in 30 years of development. And it's also like, it's just NAFTA's code for immigration at this point. Like, I'm sorry, it kind of is. Like, I'm all for like people having like living wages and like working good jobs. And like, I support union labor when they're like not compromising the efficacy of like the government and stuff. But like, I guess the thing is, like, I always get really annoyed with like the left wing populists who are like, "Oh, we should just undo NAFTA." I'm like, "Good luck with that, guys. You don't have a time travel machine." Like,
yeah, and of course the famous manufacturing chart that has no real change in
yeah, it
slope
doesn't say
post
anything.
NAFTA.
Like, I think the thing is, those jobs are not coming back. Like, they want those jobs back. They want their way of life back, and not just that, they want their respect back. They want to be respected in society the way like even now New York Times reporters are. And it's like, okay, I get it, but like the whole like stereotype which I said at one point that kind of like I don't know how it kind of like got propagated by not me, but like basically Democrats are the party of the overeducated and underpaid. Republicans are now the party of the undereducated and overpaid. So you've got like these people who are making six figures but don't have college educations, and like they're looked down upon by like publishing assistants in New York who think they're like dumbasses. And it's like, it's like I get it. I get the resentment both ways. I get it. But like at the same time, it's like, do you have a fix for this?
Yeah, back in 2008, and that was a period where probably the most analog to 2025 as far as, or 2025 through 28 as far as Dems reemerging from the wilderness.
Yeah, like 2004 to 2008. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I think Kamala like saved the country. Like I am fully on team Biden would have lost big. Like we would have been waiting 5 days for New Jersey to have been called. Like and we would have been like, hopefully Andy Kim has won. Because like right now we have four Democratic senators in states that Trump won on the same ballot. Like
Yeah.
that's so lucky that Kamala managed to keep it close enough that they managed to win. Like Ruben Gallego outran Kamala by 8. And people will talk about like, oh, it's down ballot lag. I'm like, you know what? We can talk about down ballot lag all you want. And I know it's a real thing, but AOC outran Kamala by 700 votes. Alyssa Slotkin, like, like the thing is, it's not really specific what happens. There's like many ways it could be going, but like the very clear fact is that like Alyssa Slotkin won Michigan and Kamala Harris lost, and like we can talk about why that happened. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact. That's why like Alyssa Slotkin has like a silver bullet, like electorally. Like she can say what she wants because her seats are very valuable to us because it's a miracle that she won. But yeah, the point is like I'm a little frustrated with how Democrats are acting right now. It's kind of embarrassing to me. Like it sounds really bad, but it's like, why are you guys running around like chickens with your heads cut off? You can't change anything. like maybe it's because like I, had my political like coming of age or whatever, and like I've always been like paying attention to stuff, but like my politics haven't changed in 15 years, like significantly. But like um post 2016 is when like my 2016 was my first election. Like I did a lot of work for it. Like I campaigned for Hillary in Pennsylvania. It was like, you know, campaigned for Biden in 2020. Did a lot of phone banking, text banking because it was like pandemic. I had nothing to do except like work and like do that. In 24 I was a delegate, so I guess it's been like going up. I don't know where I'll go from here because I'm on not great terms with the Washington Democrats. That's a different point. I wonder why. Anyway, but oh no, it's like basically what happens is let's just say the Biden team still has a lot of influence at the DNC.
Okay. And Biden in the 2008 primary was a distant fifth place.
Oh yeah.
But it seemed like it was still up in the air. It seemed like a party in the wilderness where who was the front runner, who wasn't, was morphing pretty quickly. Over that period of time, that 4 years, Roger Federer was number one in the world, and Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton were all on the scene. John Edwards was even like getting some run.
Oh yeah, before the mistress problem, getting caught having a mistress and like impregnating a mistress when his wife had cancer. Yeah, that thing.
And
he's actually still a lawyer in North Carolina. Fun fact: my friend has ran into him. But yeah, he was just like there, like he's just like a normal lawyer now. Anyway, but the point is, yeah, it was like 2008 was a weird time. I think celebrities were kind of bigger than life in many ways. In a way, they aren't now because like of social media and like anyone can be an influencer. But like in 2008, celebrities were like the real deal. For Angelina was 2005, after Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Then you had in 2008, like this was the Britney Goes Crazy times, Paris, Nicole, Lindsay, like all of that stuff. Like coming of age of that is like I think it's like it's very much like you're very aware of things. Like you're aware of like when you step out of line, this stuff will happen to you. So it's like when you're like a young girl growing up in that, it's like I was always very online from the time I was very young. Like I'm pretty normal for somebody who's very online, but I'm very online. I started like I was home alone after school and stuff, so I would like Google things and like read. I would read like TV scripts. When I was like 10, I got really into the R. Kelly case. I don't know how I found it, but I read all these like Chicago Sun-Times archives from like the 90s. Yeah, and I emailed Jim DeRogatis and I was like, "Thank you for your work on the R. Kelly case. It's very valuable. My name is Dhaaruni and I'm 10 years old." And I was like, yeah, I'm 30 now, so I'm like, what was I thinking?
It's probably nice to hear feedback on your work, positive feedback on
your
work.
Oh no, he replied. He's like, "Thank you. I really appreciate it. Let's hope he gets justice." Like I don't remember it, but like the point is, like I was just kind of like a very precocious kid. Like I had a lot of opinions on things. I like cared a lot about things. That's kind of why like when I even like sports and stuff, I get like really into the backstory. I'm not like a sports person per se, which is why I was like, when you first told me this, I was like, okay, what? But I like going into the background of stuff. Like, for instance, I know all about the Djokovic vaccine stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know a lot about like, for instance, Rafael Nadal was in Shakira's video for Gypsy. I think that's in 2014, but I might be wrong on that. I just make things up. I could just be making this up, but like I'm not. So,
I mean, yeah, she was dating or married to a Spanish soccer player, and
then he cheated on her, and she found out because her jam was eaten. She like, and I was like, that is so me coded. I would do that too.
Found in the pantry. That's right.
Yeah.
And then Nadal's from the island of Majorca, and so I could see that Spain connection happening, and Nadal making his way in that music video.
Yeah. Anyway, it was 2010, by the way. I was a couple years off, but I don't know. Like, it's very interesting because, like, in a sense, like I think sports stars were more celebrities back then than they are now. Just because of the influencer stuff. Like right now, who are the big sports celebrities? Like, obviously, there's some like Steph Curry.
Like LeBron.
Joe Burrow was at the Met Gala. I was joking to my friend. I was like, "You should move to Ohio and try to date him," because like he's tall and hot and seems like a
Good looking
nice
guy. Yeah.
guy. And like he actually brought his entire like front line. He bought them samurai swords because
Yeah,
he was
that's
thinking like somebody was like, oh, maybe we should get them guns. He's like, no, let's get them samurai swords instead. And I was like, closet lib.
right.
And he's like from Ohio, but like I don't know, he's a good looking guy. I support anybody dating him who wants to.
He's
But
continuing to exist as a lib in Ohio publicly, and it's uncomfortable
I don't
sometimes.
think it's like it's kind of like Nick Saban. Like people just ignore it.
Yeah,
But like
it's
Ohio's obviously bluer than Alabama, but like my friend is from Alabama. She went to Auburn, so she's like not a fan for that reason because he was an
yeah.
Alabama coach. But like she was like, yeah, he's cool. He was best friends with Joe Manchin for 60 years.
Huh.
They're both from West Virginia. He's like 5 years older than Manchin. They like played football together. They've been friends since the 1960s. He actually cut an ad for Manchin in 2018 endorsing him. He's done that all the time. Like they go to football games together and stuff. It's so funny. Like
Our war seat, our maxing the WAR seat.
I mean, like people were asking, like maybe he should run for office in Alabama. I don't think he wants to. I think he just wants to chill.
No.
Like, but yeah, I'm also what?
Yeah. Saban would be someone good to get in the mix. As far as
I
the
don't think
type of
he
people.
wants to though. A lot of people just
Yeah.
don't want to run. Like
Yeah.
I get it. Like Brian Kemp is not running, and he's like somebody I thought would want to run.
He's got a lot more latitude with the governorship, and
Yeah, Georgia's a big state, one of the top 10 states in terms of population. That's the other problem. Like, everyone talks about the Senate and stuff, but like, if you look at the top 10 states in population, a lot of them are Republican states now. You've got Ohio, Georgia, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania. They're all Trump won states, and they're all in the top 10.
we build some more houses, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Pretty sure North Carolina is like 12, but like Texas and Florida are the two big ones. Like it's really bad. Democrats are locked out of Texas and Florida right now because like, that's like a combined 50 million people close to, or like 40 million or something.
Yeah.
And like it's just gone. And those like Florida used to be a 50-50 state. Texas was within 5 in 2020. It's like I don't actually think the state's gone that far right in a couple years. Like I know internal migration's a thing, COVID like gluts or whatever, but like I really think it's just a matter of like people have all these arguments over like how internal migration affects like existing political stuff. Like are liberals moving to like red states or conservatives moving? But like I think what happens is like I think the end result is it doesn't super matter. Like Georgia got blue because of like education polarization. It did not get blue because of like staters coming in. But
yeah, two people that ran pretty well in Florida, and people that knew how to run, even if both didn't have the same result. But Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton at this time during Wimbledon,
they were on the primary, yeah.
Yeah, and Barack Obama had just sewn it up, but not long before that, like mid-October 2007, I think Real Clear Polling had Hillary at like 47% in polling, Barack Obama at 21%, John Edwards at 13%, Bill Richardson at 3%, Joe Biden not even getting onto the graph.
Rip Joe.
How much was a roller coaster? How much did you follow that primary there in 07 going into 08?
So my parents, like, I'm pretty sure they were like lukewarmly supporting Hillary. They weren't like super particular on it because like they supported the Democrat either way, and they were very happy when Obama won. They were like Obama supporters, and like, but we have always been like they were big Hillary supporters in 2016. They were like Hillary primary voters and like a Hillary general election voter. And like, it was so funny though. On the 2024 election, my husband and I went over to my parents' house to like watch the election results come in, and then we saw Loudoun County, and then we're like, oh. And then we left at like 9 p.m. Pacific as things were like getting bad. And then my mom texts us, "Good night. I'm not watching TV." It's like I hate being right.
Yeah.
Like that sounds terrible, but like the only like thing I actually got like super wrong is I thought Bob Casey would win. I thought she would lose Pennsylvania if Bob Casey would win. But Bob Casey lost. The thing that I got right that a lot of people got wrong, I thought I knew Sherrod Brown was gone. Like I knew.
Yeah.
And your tester was gone
Ohio.
too. So like everyone was like hoping. They're like, oh, he can pull it off because he's done. I'm like, guys, he's not outrunning Kamala by 10. Like I
No,
would love it if he could, but he
only
can't.
Joe Burrow. I don't
No,
know.
but seriously, he should run. He's about my age and like so in a couple of years. But like no, he'd be good, but like he's also like not stupid because he understood not to give his frontline guns, which is pretty smart. Like, don't give a bunch of like really large guys a bunch of guns with a lot of testosterone. Like, let them samurai sword each other up. I don't know.
He navigated it well. It's like still something fun and violent.
But yeah, it's
but
you obviously can do a lot less damage with like samurai swords than like machine guns or like regular guns.
yeah.
Like,
So he finds that, and then he goes to UFC fights, and then like has to with more mega
I saw that.
NFL
Like,
players, and he shakes Trump's hand, but he shows that he's not comfortable about it. So he's finding that
who's that guy? He
Ohio
went with.
middle ground.
Who's with that guy? Nick
Nick
Bosa.
Bosa, yeah.
Like he went to Nick Bosa, and Bosa's like, yeah, and Joe Burrow's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny though, because like he clearly was just like there, and it's like you want like that's why I keep on saying you want guys can like do that stuff, even if they don't like I'm sure like a guy like that enjoys UFC. He like watching these things, but he's not like really into like the dirt politics of it. Like, and I think a lot of guys are in that realm. So
You did like a ton of work in Ohio, right? Like
oh yeah,
yeah,
years ago in
things,
2021.
yeah.
I did focus groups. It was pretty cool. Basically it was very funny because like I was a little bit lower ranking at the time because I was like new to the game, whatever. But the person they sent was like my higher up basically. He was really bad at it. Not really bad at it, but he like went to Wesley and he was like he showed up to like these focus groups in like a suit and tie. And he wasn't getting a lot of like really usable information about him. And like I eventually picked up on it. It's like they don't really trust him. They like want people that like I feel like that's kind of like framed a lot of my like ethos politically. It's like no one's gonna listen to you if they think you don't like them and you think you don't respect them and you don't think they're stupid. As yeah, like I try to be like normal about people, like just like look at them as people. Like a lot of them will disagree with me on stuff, but most people disagree with me on a lot of stuff. It's like fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't really take it personally unless they're like being really weird, which happens a lot. For some reason, I don't know why. Actually, I know several reasons why. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm getting yelled at right now, actually, for saying.
what I feel like well, that happens from time to time.
I have my notifications off for non-mutuals. I guess like I think people get really personal about things, like really emotional about things, and I don't think it's like healthy. And ironically, like this going back to our sports metaphor, like they treat politics like sports. We know this. And it's like you treat it like a combination of sports and religion, which is like interesting because those are like two unifying factors on a societal level. Like the Super Bowl is the most watched sporting event or like the most watched televised event in the country every year. Basically like church attendance or like other forms of religious institutions, mosques, synagogues, temples, they're all like social gathering places. And like as America is secularized, I think people are like finding religion and like it's like similar to how like people are abandoning sports and abandoning religion and finding politics. The people that do that are the same people. Does that make sense? People that are abandoning sports and religion.
It feels like there's a displaced energy that does go into politics, where some of that energy was probably better for society when it was in sports and religion.
Honestly, like I'm not religious at all, but like I understand there are values to it, like on a community level, on a societal level, because like before you had like the religious right, and they were very, but you had like compassionate conservatism, like 25 years ago. And I don't agree with Bush on a lot of stuff, but like I do agree with him like on immigration generally. Like he wanted to pass an immigration bill. Like he won 40% of Latinos in 2004. And like he always like say what you will. Yeah.
It was like 9/11, right? That was like the big thing, like the political will with Homeland Security was got in the way largely. And this match happened during Bush's presidency, so we've had. I mean, what do you think there? Sorry, I'll let you continue. What are you
No,
saying there?
like I think it's really interesting because like it happened during Bush's presidency, but his approvals were tanking at this point almost because like Iraq, Katrina, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember this because my parents and I weren't citizens at this point in time. We came here in 2000. Thank you, Bill Clinton, H-1B cap expansion. It actually expired in 2004 and it hasn't been expanded since then. Thanks, guys.
It's gonna
But
roll again in 2028, hopefully, or
yeah.
2029, hopefully.
Well, the thing is, like, there needs to be like the thing is, like, Clinton did it by executive order. He just kind of like changed it. He just took it up from like 60 to 110 or something, 60,000 to 110,000. And my parents and I got into the 99 version, so we moved in 2000. Like we got like late 99, 2000. Like we moved in September 2000. Like my first political memory is Bush v. Gore, like on the floor of our first apartment in Dallas. Like,
And your family's probably riding for Gore because of Clinton administration.
yeah, my parents did want Gore to win. I remember this. I remember this because I was 6, and my dad was saying, like, no, there's no way the Supreme Court will let this happen. Like, Bush's brother is governor of Florida. That's so corrupt. And like, my dad was really young at this point. He had me when I was 22. So like, he was 27 at this point. So, or 27 or 28. And he was like, no, there's no way they would just accept this. This is like a fallacy. This is like an obstruction of justice. And of course, like I was like a little 6-year-old on the floor because we didn't have a couch yet. And I was like, no, they are gonna let Bush win. They're gonna hand it to Bush. And I actually posted this the month before the 2024 election. I predicted how every state would go. Like, I got them all right except Nevada. I thought Kamala would win Nevada. I knew the Latinas would go right. I just didn't know how far right.
The ghost of Harry Reid always comes through. It was shocking that at least outside of the Senate, yeah.
Well, that's what happens. Nevada Dems, like, there was a progressive takeover of the Nevada Democrats in 2022. Remember that? Like,
Yeah.
so after Harry Reid died, and like, they lost the governorship in 22. They lost the state in
Right.
24. So like,
Lombardo came
they're doing.
in, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is like, a progressive party overtaking the government is like the worst idea in the Sun Belt. Like, it's just a bad idea. Like, it could work in like parts in the Midwest based on who you talk to, but like the Sun Belt. Like, I think that's the thing that I find really interesting about American politics. Like, you have half the people who are going, like, once the Midwest is no longer important, we can be liberal and XYZ. I'm like, have you looked at the Sun Belt recently? Have you looked at how they voted in 24? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's interesting because, like, you look at political shifts from 2008 to the present. Like, Obama won Indiana. He won North Carolina in 2008. He swept the Midwest. He won Wisconsin by 13 points. And then you look at what happened in 2020, even when Biden won, he won Wisconsin by 20,000 votes, like 1%. And it's just like political coalitions have changed. And it's like, if you watch sporting events then versus now, it's interesting. I feel like sporting events have actually been very consistent. Like, I watch the Olympics and stuff every time. I watch the gymnastics, I watch the swimming, and like, I'm pretty basic about it. But like, um, it's interesting to see how much like consistency there is in that world compared to every other like facet of society. Because like, and especially now, like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, like in tennis, they all are retired or retiring, and it's like end of an era, man. Like, have you read Andy Roddick's book, by the way?
No, I have not.
I read it. Like, it's pretty good. I like the guy. He's married to Brooklyn Decker. He's got some kids.
Okay.
They're very cute. Like, Brooklyn Decker is a former Sports Illustrated model. Like, again, I just know things. Like, I don't know why I know them, but like,
He's gonna be
I
in
also
a
don't like.
pickle. He's gonna be in a pickleball movie with Jake Johnson and some like funny people writing it. So I'm
He
kind of
actually
excited about that.
tweets. He's like a very. I think he lives in North Carolina. He's like a Democrat. I think he lives in North Carolina. Yeah, he lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. Why did I know that? No one knows. Well, I read his book. That's why I know. But like, he lives in Charlotte. Maybe he can run. He's a cool guy. He's like the age where he can run for something. Like, now that I think about it, like, people always look at like who are outsiders that can run for the presidency. It's like sports stars,
Yeah.
entertainers, not Stephen A. Smith, whatever his.
The-
I just like ignoring him because like I refuse to take him seriously. I'm sorry, I'm not going to take him seriously.
yeah,
But
it seems like some of the at least the primary polls weren't that favorable, or
I don't think primary voters like him. Like, primary
yeah.
voters are going to choose whoever has the best chance of beating JD Vance in 2028. Like, I trust them, I think. Because the thing is, the primary voters in 28 are not the people that are plugged in and screaming on the internet right now. Because, like, my parents are primary voters. They're not online at all, but they're Democratic primary voters. They vote every year in, like, municipal and state level elections and, like, mayoral races and, like, precinct captains. They vote for everything. Because, like, basically we consider it like our civil responsibility because like we came to this country, it made us like have our life, and it like gave us like this place that we live in. It's like our home because we don't really have a lot going for us in India. Like we don't have family really that we like talk to very much, and like, you know, it's like we want to give back to the country basically, and like voting is just like our part of our responsibility, like it's a part and package.
This has been another episode of Remember That Game. Please rate, review, subscribe, and check out more episodes.